have lived and worked in West Houston for over 24 years, and I can tell you right now, not all of these acreage communities are created equal. Some of my buyers have made decisions out here that worked out beautifully, and sometimes life changes. Your family grows, your priorities shifts, and what felt right on day one looks a little different 2 years later. Today, I'm giving you the honest breakdown of 3 of the best acreage communities in Fulshear. That's Fulbrook, Weston Lakes, and Fulshear Run. From someone who has actually been on the ground out here. And I'll warn you, one of them surprises almost every buyer I bring through it. Most people completely underestimate it. And I don't want that to be you. As always, my name is Raquel Bell, your trusted friend in real estate right here in West Houston. I have helped over 350 families find home out here in Katy, Fulshear, Richmond, Cypress, and Houston surrounding areas. Before I was a real estate advisor, I spent almost 9 years as a special needs teacher, which means listening to what people actually need is kind of my thing. So if you're thinking about making a move to West Houston, whether that's this year or you're just starting to dream about it, I would genuinely love to help you get there. My contact information is right below this video. Send me a message, shoot me a text, or give me a call. And let's just start the conversation. Okay, let's start with Fulbrook. And before I say anything else, I want to clear things up because this confuses buyers consistently out here. There are 2 different communities that share a similar name. There's Fulbrook on Fulshear Creek Crossing, which is a master plan community with traditional neighborhood lot sizes. That is not what we are talking about today. We are talking about Fulbrook, the original. A true acreage estate community sitting on about 900 acres of rolling Texas countryside in Fulshear. These are 2 completely different experiences, and it matters that you know the difference before you start touring. What Fulbrook was built on is a belief I love, that people and nature need room to live and grow, and they really meant it. The community has over 200 acres of dedicated permanent open space. We're talking about Oxbow Lakes, pecan groves, wildflower meadows, duck ponds, and the Brazos River frontage. You're not buying a lot next to someone else's fence line. You're buying land that genuinely feels like Texas. Lots here run from 1 to nearly 3 acres. Some pushing 4 and 5, and a lot of them back directly to the water. That's your Oxbow Lake, Pecan Lakes, and the Brazos. And these views are real. Now here is what makes Fulbrook different from a builder's standpoint. And this is the part I want you to really hear. There are 5 approved custom builders in this community. That is completely intentional. It actually protects the integrity of the neighborhood. Every home you see in Fulbrook was designed specifically for that lot by a builder who was vetted to be there. You are not going to drive down the street and see the same house repeated 6 times. Homes in Fulbrook start in the 700s and push well above $3 million. There is also a section called Fulbrook Creeks, a separate enclave of just 72 homes, all on 1 acre or larger lots, built by David Weekley Homes, which is a local production builder here in Houston. Resale there typically runs in the 700s to 900s, and if you want to buy raw land and build from scratch, we got you covered. Lots are available starting around $600,000. One more thing I want you to hear, and please do not gloss over this. Fulbrook carries one of the lower tax rates in the area. When you're financing a custom home at this level, that savings add up every year. It is a real number that changes your monthly payment, and it is something I walk through with every buyer I work with before we ever make an offer. Now, Weston Lakes, and when I take certain buyers through this gate for the first time, I watch something happen. They just exhale. Something shifts, and I have learned to recognize that look because it means we've found it. Weston Lakes is a private, guard-gated community in Fulshear that has been here since the 1980s. It was built around a private country club and an 18-hole golf course. I say that not to impress you. However, if golf is a part of your life, this is not a small detail. This is a lifestyle. The lots here are very generous, many over an acre, and the homes are almost entirely custom or semi-custom estates. This neighborhood is not still figuring out what it wants to be. It has been established for decades. The trees are mature, the streets have character. There is a sense of roots here that you cannot get in a newly developed community, no matter how beautiful the renderings are. Security here is serious. With a 24-hour manned gate, private roads, and a community where neighbors genuinely know each other. Some families have been there for 20 years or more. If privacy is at the top of your list, Weston Lakes deliver that at a level very few places in West Houston can match. Prices start in the high 500s and goes well above $2 million for the larger estate homes. Because this is an established community, you are going to see primarily resale inventory, which means having the right buyer's agent matters. Someone who knows what has sold inside that gate, what those properties are actually worth, and how to negotiate with confidence on your behalf. That is exactly what I do. I also want to be upfront with you about the full cost of ownership here. The tax rate in Weston Lakes is higher than Fulbrook. And if you want full access to the country club, you would have both HOA dues and private club membership fees. Also, a monthly social fee on top of your mortgage. That is not a reason to walk away. However, it is a reason to go in with clear eyes. And that is a conversation I love having with buyers early, before anyone falls in love with a specific address. All right, remember at the top of this video when I told you one of these communities surprises almost every buyer I bring out there? This is the one, Fulshear Run. I love introducing people to this community because it has personality you just do not expect. It sits just south of FM 1093 in Boris de York Lane, about 7 miles west of the Grand Parkway. And it was built around an idea I really connect with. The best of town and country living, all in one place. Home sites here run from half an acre to over an acre, and they come with city utility services. That combination of oversized land plus city infrastructure is not always easy to find, and it is one of the things that makes Fulshear Run genuinely different. However, here's what really sets this community apart and why buyers who pass it over initially almost always come back to it. The culture. There is a Fulshear Farmers Market right at the entrance every Saturday morning where you can pick up fresh produce, meats, and local goods. There are plans for a working vineyard and olive grove on the property as well. There is a songbird park for quiet walks and a fish lake park where you can actually drop a fishing line. This place was designed for people who want to feel connected to the land they are living on, not just living next to it. The builder lineup is Partners in Building and Tri Pointe Homes. So you are looking at semi-custom and spec homes, which makes this the most reasonably priced points of all three communities today. Pricing starts in the mid 800s and goes up to $2.4 million. However, here's what I love about Fulshear Run. You can find a true Texas-sized estate in this community for just $1.5 million or less. That is a lot of home, a lot of land, and a lot of legacy for that price point. One more thing worth mentioning, and this is especially relevant for someone who has done any research on flooding in Fort Bend County. During Hurricane Harvey, Fulshear Run residents stayed high and dry. The drainage engineering here was thoughtful and it showed when it mattered most. This is the kind of detail that does not show up on an MLS sheet, but absolutely shows up in your peace of mind. Okay, I promised you a side-by-side, so let's look at it together. And I want to walk through a couple of these lines with you because some of them have more story behind them than the table alone can tell. The three lines I want you to pay attention to are the builder program, tax rate, and HOA style. Those three things can change the real cost of living in a community significantly over time. And they are the three things buyers often overlook when they're in the middle of falling in love with a lot or a home. This is not me trying to rain on your excitement. This is me doing my job and doing it the way I would want someone to do it for my own family. I care too much about your long-term picture to let this happen without at least having the conversation first. Let me speak directly to you for a second because I think by now one of these three communities has probably already been tugging at you a little. And I want to help you trust that. If you have been using words like land, custom, open space, room to breathe, and you want to build something from ground up on a piece of Texas that genuinely belongs to you, Fulbrook was made for you. The acreage is real, the builder program is elite, and the tax advantages makes that dream more financially sustainable than most people realize. If you keep coming back to words like private, established, golf course, or legacy, if you want to drive through a gate and feel like you have truly arrived somewhere, then Weston Lakes was made for you. It is not the newest community, but some of the best things in life are not new. They are the ones that have stood the test of time, and Weston Lakes is one of them. Next, if your vision of the dream includes Saturday morning farmers markets, fishing with your kids, tall pecan trees, a little room to excel, and you want land without starting from scratch on every single decision, Fulshear Run was made for you. Don't underestimate it. A lot of buyers almost do. What I always come back to is this. The right community is not the most expensive one. It is the one where you wake up every morning and feel like you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Helping find that place, that is exactly what I believe I was put here to do. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. That tells me you are taking this seriously, and I respect that. This is a big decision, and it deserves the time you're giving it. Here is what I would love for you to do. Drop a comment below and tell me which community felt most like home to you. I read every single one. And if you have a question I did not answer today, ask me right there. I promise I will answer. And if you're ready to take the next step, if you want to get on a call, talk through your timeline, your budget, and what is actually available in these communities right now, my information is right below this video. Send me a message, shoot me a text, or give me a call. Let's start the conversation. Until next time.